Today I'm going to show just the basics on how to smite, simply because I've come across one too many normal players who don't know how. Originally I stick with Versus, Joust, Conquest, and whatever the bonus of the day is, but because of my internet connection I don't want no more 411-hour bans, so I've been going to co-op for a while and come across a lot of people who basically don't know the basics. So I'm gonna make a quick video on the basics. I'm gonna work on a few of my assassins. Hunters got all 1 point, warriors, guardians. So I'm not sure what your starter guide is. For my starter guide it was Ra, so
it is
I guess I'll pick Ra.
Let's put pen to paper.
In jungle practice you're able to pick all the skins, so you're able to actually see what skin you like and eventually work on getting it.
Let's put pen to paper.
I actually own this skin, but we'll pick the Doodle Bob skin. In this video, I'm just going to be going over the basics, like what to know, what does what. Forgive the sound of my PlayStation about to explode in the background. I'm not even sure if the stream's recording while it's in the loading screen. But here we go. Now, first thing that you want to do when you jump on here is, because eventually you're going to want to go to PvP, that's just an inevitability. You want to go to options and go to settings. Then want to go to controllers, and you want your fire abilities to be L1, L2, and R1, as well as your fourth ability to be triangle. From there on you can customize whatever you want, from cast mode to normal casting, quick casting, or instant casting. I gotta switch mine to quick. Set your turning speed up, because when I first started this was as fast as I can turn. So when I came across a really fast guy that can literally run circles around me, I wasn't able to turn fast enough to hit him, and I wasn't able to actually properly play. But once you get your controllers set up the proper way for PvP, press up on the D-pad to see what your powers are. Ra's powers is, each time he casts an ability he gets 5% movement speed, and it stacks 3 times, and the lifetime is 15 seconds per ability. So you'll see, let me hold down L3 and press L2. When I cast it, there'll be like a little orange circle ball in the left hand corner. That is the ability. I get a movement speed boost. Here, let me get out of here so I don't get that speed boost. And it goes up by 5% each time I cast an ability. With that said, because this is a god or a mage build, you're going to want to buy cooldown. I didn't even get a chance to put my proper starters in here. You can go to starters, or here, these are my starters. You'll probably get something that looks like this. Don't really buy these unless you plan on buying them once or twice. I usually buy these ones because they actually refill. You can buy a maximum of 5 normal pots. Using them over and over again does not increase the amount of health you get. You get health per time. Let me take some damage over here in the tower buff. Too much damage. It doesn't speed up healing if I use both of them. See that it doesn't stack like it should. It's just that one pot heals way faster. Additionally, if you use the little ones, eventually you won't be able to use them anymore, and you got to go out and buy more. But the green ones, they restack as soon as you come back to the fountain. Obviously these ones are for potions, and these ones are wards. So if you get this, you can just drop a ward down. I got quick casting, so this way I can hold it, and when I let go of X, it drops the item. I don't gotta tap it twice. With that said, let's go to level 20. And we're going to talk about how I get my builds, or what the items do. These are popular. These are just what everyone normally picks. A lot of people like to pick these ones because Ra has the ability to heal. Power just basically goes what damage you do. You can get this switched where it shows like the basic item. And you can see that this one here will get 10% cooldown, but eventually it'll work your way up to whatever the passives are and power upon the third item. Attack speed is, well, self-explanatory. How fast your god attacks.
My HP #1?
Lifesteal is how much damage you steal. Now there was a popular thing I heard about how lifesteal basically with gods you're able to cast it like this. And it would steal with mages. With mages you'll be able to cast your lifesteal. And you'll be able to get it from damaging with abilities. But there was a popular opinion saying that you're only able to get lifesteal through melee damage with warriors. Now relics, you can only buy, once you buy a relic, normally you're not able to sell it. You're stuck with that relic. So say if I leave the fountain and come back in here, I won't be able to sell that relic. But since this is jungle practice, I'm allowed to buy and sell as many things as I want. Buy and sell whatever relic I want and see what whatever the relics do. Penetration is what goes through whatever armor. Like this one here has 20% penetration. This one here doesn't have it written in its stats, but its passive is basic attack reduces target's magical protection by 10%, stacks 3 times. So if I hit the target 3 times, they lose 30% of their armor. This one here is basic attack and abilities gain 25 additional magic power against targets below 50% health plus 10% penetration. Then you got physical defense, which is defense against physical attacks, such as, I think it's magic for mages. Magical defense, which is defense against these. Health, which is once again self-explanatory. Let's see. HP 5, which is health per second, I guess. I think this might be an S or a 5. It's, I don't know, monitor's not big enough to actually see it. CCR is crowd control, or crowd control reduction. So you would be less affected by crowd control effects that would normally slow you down. Let me see if I can get like a high crowd control reduction. If you press the options button while in here, you actually get to see your stats change when you add and subtract items. Like, let's go with this one below critical chance that's in its own category in the middle. It says I got 90 magical power from items. Let's go to power.
Look at what I got here.
Press options twice. I got 562 magical power. Aura is basically a range around you. Like the fastest way to show aura is this one here. Is all enemies within 25 units or dealt 30 plus 1 per level magic damage per second. So every second I get like this pulse of energy that shoots out around me. And as soon as I'm in range, you'll start seeing damage numbers pop up. It's got to be within 30. If I remember correctly, was it 30? Let's see. 25 units. So I got to be right here, and I should be able to hit whatever guy that's within range, doing 30 plus, well, you read it. Now, all auras have a similar effect as that, such as this one here, gods within 55 units have their healing reduced by 25. Run how far 50 is, it's about right here. So a god that's just inside melee range has their healing reduced by 25%. Does not stack with similar auras means it does not stack with the same item. So if another god has this item, it won't affect. But you can get other anti-heals, such as this one here, which is enemies hit by your ability have 40% reduced healing for 6 seconds. And then there's this item. Enemies hit by your basic attack have 20% reduced healing and stacks up to 2 times, so you can get 40% reduced healing with this item equipped. Now the items are pretty much placed in a certain order. You have the starter ones, which is ones they pretty much hand out to you. These ones are usually optional. Sometimes they don't have the best items to be put in there. Like I wouldn't get this for Ra. Maybe if like this is a defensive item, I normally get like a healing and damage, because the higher your damage goes up, the more healing you get from it. Like here, I'll give an example. This one gives 140 magical power. You'll see that my attack's supposed to do 335 damage plus 140. That's from the magical items. So if I hit him with this, you should see the damage pop up plus the magic from items. But I think they get like a damage reduction of some sort. Oh, I still got that other item. This one here is the same thing. I get damage per tick with my ability heal, and the plus 14 and the plus 28 comes from the items. This would be healing and damage. One of the things I like to do is to stack that with lifesteal. This way I'm able to actually steal life and get healing from that, as well as from the inside. So if I get like a lifesteal and damage per tick, I can be right close to the person, healing myself while I'm inside the circle and damaging him while I'm inside the circle. Now the first one after popular would be your offensive items, then your defensive items, then your utility items. This is stuff like ores, movement speed, cooldowns. Cooldown is going to be one of the favorites you have with your god. Keep in mind that there's a max limit to how far your cooldowns go. So buying all the cooldown items doesn't mean that you spam any faster than what you normally would. 5 seconds, I get the same thing. 5 seconds. This gives me 10%, this gives me 10%, this gives me 20%. If you look over in the item chart in the middle, you'll see a part in there that says cooldowns. Maximum cooldowns 40%. Of course, there's like item events in the day where you get even more cooldown, which goes up to 80%. This would be good for basically practicing to see what items you can spam for this matter. He is just all types of aggressive. I've never played with this. I've played with this guy, but I never played with this skin. He's got a special emote. See, emote, other, nope, just global. Here you can test your build up against gods. And that's basically it. You can read what your abilities do. It tells you pretty much self-explanatory. Some of the abilities you have to read because you'll probably never get them right off the bat. Such as Ganesh has an ability that does no damage, but it's very useful for support. It silences the enemy so they can't use any of their magic attacks. None of this. And it gives you protections so that you can sit there and just follow the enemy. And they have no choice but to just sit there and get hit. But that is the basics for Smite. If I were to make a build for him right off the bat, like I said, I'd go for cooldown.
I've got my HP number 2.
This increases healing within gods by 20%. I always go for that. A lot of people make fun of me for it. It's like, I don't care. I want it. I want it. I need it. If you want to be like really trolly, messed up. Oh, I lost everything. Where is it? Cooldown. Stay in cooldown until you get the items you need. One more cooldown. And a lifesteal. Actually, I want lifesteal more than I want cooldown. Even though this item gives me cooldown too. And there, you got yourself a good raw build. Now the reason why I say that last ability is trolling is because if you heal yourself, you get 30% movement speed. Top that on top of Ra's already high movement speed. Oh, another thing, I love fighting this guy for the sole purpose that it's a good way of actually showing what you can actually do. But keep in mind that the more time he has on him, the more damage he does, and the more damage you have to do with him to see if you can actually beat him or not. So what I do is I put him up to the highest number, which is 30 minutes. Missed it. And see how much damage I can do before I die from fighting him. And I don't have enough damage or damage resistance to fight him. So this is a god I gotta work with. Until I can beat him with all my items, no potions, no buffs, I play with the gods to see what items work. Now, I've only been able to beat him with 2 gods so far, but then again, I don't really go to jungle practice more often. I usually got all my levels ups, my rank ups for my gods doing PvP. But here in jungle practice, you can do Odin bots, practice your aim. I gotta work on my aim. Practice fighting a level 20 Odin, 116, then 1 Odin, 130, level 20, 116, increases protections. I think his protections go up to 300 if I'm not mistaken. I'll do 42 damage now. I gotta get used to quick draw again. Work on lane minions, see how many items you gotta add up to deal damage. I love that pencil. Once again, it's got a timer. I believe if they are at a higher level for a longer time, it takes more damage to kill them. Apparently not. It sounds like he's saying something very inappropriate. Fire Giant, Gold Fury. Gold Fury changes each time you beat him into only Fury and so on. And here we have the other one, Yellow. Nope, only Fury. Free fight where you can go and fight other gods. You get to fight other players, so you get to practice your dodging and everything else. Towers, Tower 1, Tower 2 has more life, Tower 3 is the Phoenix. You can send minions in. Why are they going in the wrong direction? That's weird. Okay. Buff camps. This one's damage, mana, speed, and this was supposed to be attack speed, but I guess armor pen. I don't know. I'd have to look through it later. They updated every blue moon. God bots, we get to test your builds up against other gods. Keep in mind, these are bots. They don't dodge. And that's what I mean by lifesteal plus healing. And then the Odin bots for practice. That's what they're doing. Yeah, that's broken. Those are broken. I'm glad it doesn't show the numbers at least. But yeah, that's basic SMITE 101. You got your passive, your first ability, second ability, third ability, and last ability. It's wise to know like what your weaknesses are of your last ability. Like his, once you cast it, you're stationary for a little while. Other than that, he's actually a good, well-rounded mage when used properly. Like I said, one of the things I like to do is just use him for crowd control, but I believe that covers most of the basics. Any other questions, send a message. Any request, when I get back to him, I will gladly answer him as soon as I get to him. And have a nice night. Preparing to make my second video.